I'm going to say something that someone on this side of the registry rarely says out loud. I put myself here. I put myself in this situation. No one else is responsible for me being on the registry but me. No one is responsible for the hardships I endure on the registry but me. I regret the things I did that got me on the registry. But here I am. These thoughts are constantly in the minds of people that are on the registry. The hardships, the thoughts, the things we wish we could change that we cannot. But sometimes the hardest thing is to actually do the internal work so that you can get to the point where you can say, I'm the responsible party. There are relationships that I would have loved to hold on to. I was not able to hold on to them. It's easy for me to get relationships. It's hard for me to keep them. I get the same questions. Does that mean that we have to live in a certain area? Does that mean that you can't go certain places? No, that doesn't mean that you have to live in a certain area. It means I have to live in a certain area. Does that mean that you can't move into my subdivision and live with me? That's exactly what it means. I cannot move into your subdivision. All of these things are issues and problems that we have to deal with. But the truth of the matter is, no one owes me anything. No one owes us anything. People have the right to feel the way they want to feel. We cannot control people's reactions to us being on the registry, to finding out that you're on the registry, that you have a title that says sex offender. People have a right to feel the way they want to feel about that situation. They have a right to say, I don't want to deal with that. And unfortunately, when they say, I don't want to deal with that, it hurts. Especially if you've built a relationship or you care for the person or the person cares for you. No one can force anyone to think a certain thing or to be in a relationship they don't want to be in. Everyone has a right to their own thoughts, their own ideas, and whether they want to be in a relationship with you. Everyone has the ability and the right to walk away. I have lost lots of people. We have to own our situations. We can't blame our way out of this. We have to own it. Even when it comes to organizations like the church, where we expect that the church would be understanding. In most cases, the churches are not understanding, and they're going to stand on that. They say it's my responsibility to protect my sheep, which means you're the wolf. The good news is Jesus told us that the kingdom of heaven is within. He didn't say the kingdom of heaven was in a church, but we all like to have support, friendships. We want to be accepted. We want to be loved. We want to feel special and be cared for. Unfortunately, these things cannot be taken by force. You cannot force somebody to care about your situation. The fact that you're a registered person is not their issue, and they generally don't care. We have to understand that this is our life, and we have to be responsible. We have to stand up and say, I made my bed and now I have to lay in it. What am I doing to better my situation? I never really look to other people. I understand who I am. I understand what my situation is. And I understand the odds are stacked, which means I have to be better, faster, and stronger. We all do. Any of us that's on the registry. Complaining without action is not going to get anything done. We have to become better. I remember when I went into the prison system, I wanted to be better coming out than I was going in. And I read over 115 books on philosophy, psychology, religion, and law, neuroscience, how the mind works, why we do the things we do, what motivates us to do what we do, to think what we think, what archetypes are at the base foundation of our thoughts. What are we building our thoughts on? From what premise am I thinking? What are the limitations that I think are around me? What do I believe my responsibility is to myself? And what do I believe others owe me? All of these are very important in the lives of a person on the registry. What does it mean to have a wife, a family? What do they owe you? What do you owe them? Understanding is key and paramount because nobody owes us anything. You cannot control other people. You can only control yourself. We cannot go to churches. Churches are not equipped to deal with people on the registry. They have as much fear as anybody else because they're just people. They have families, wives, children. They're concerned. And they don't understand. They don't have the capacity. And most of them don't have the desire for the disruption that registered people bring. We bring disruption. And most people aren't interested in that disruption. We, as registered people, have to go within ourselves. We have to think for ourselves. We have to come up with ideas. We have to know what it is that we're about, who we are, who we're trying to be, who we're trying to show the world we are as individuals. Because that's the thing that matters. The biggest thing for me is when I sat down with my victim and we had a conversation. And I realized what a special person she is to offer forgiveness and understanding and growth for us to work together on projects, to have speaking engagements together, and get the response that we got. As a registered person, we have to accept the realities, not the things that are made up in our head, that somebody owes us something, that the church ought to be like this or the church ought to be like that. What is for us is what we become. And it's not about our past. All of us have a past. Look at your life realistically. Sit and meditate on your own thoughts and think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish, what you want out of life, and what type of person you must be to make that happen. These are important steps. You, the kingdom of heaven is within you. You have to find that. You have to bring that out. You have to be the very best version of yourself against all odds. You have to come out of Egypt. You have to be Moses, exile in the desert, heading to the mountain of God to reveal who you really are, to go to those higher centers of consciousness, to climb the mountain within you till you get to the burning bush and God reveals your purpose. You have to do the work. We have to do the work. Only then will we be what we're supposed to be. And that is man, created in the image of God to do the things that we're supposed to do for our wives and our families.